Hey everyone, my name is Kazi, and I do not sound good because I just woke up from a crazy dream. Okay, you know when you get sick, right? Like how I am right now. You get sick, then you get those just crazy dreams that the craziest thing happens in them. Yeah, that just happened to me. It's been a few hours since I was awake, right? And I decided, you know what? I have the strength to edit the session 5 video or whatever. It was just like edit some videos, but then I realized, you know what? I gotta talk about this dream. And I gotta talk about some other crazy dreams I've got, because it's just getting out of hand. This is in no way me setting up some kind of weird ARG, because I don't know, for some reason all the comments I get on these Minecraft videos is that like, oh, is this an ARG? I thought someone was watching you. I saw someone watching with the background. I think Hairbrand's on their server, man. This is some kind of ARG. No, it's not an ARG. And me talking about weird dreams is not setting up an ARG. All right. So let's get into it. Uh, this dream. Now the main theme you're gonna see here is probably cannibalism. Okay, so I'm just gonna point that out right now. I don't know what it is. So something to do with cannibalism and homicide, because these dreams get pretty violent, and I'm like, damn, I'm not the type of guy to think this stuff up. Where did this come from? What part of my conscious, or I guess subconscious mind decided to just conjure up these insane ideas? Because in this dream that I just woke up from, I actually, before I went to bed, right? And I wouldn't recommend doing this because obviously I said it's not good for your sleep. But I was sick, right? And this is a fever dream. So I was like really sick. I was like, I'm dying here. Ah, I'm gonna watch a horror movie. Actually, no, it wasn't a horror movie. It was Chasington. Okay, he made that video about Mickey Mouse. Some kind of no, it wasn't just Mickey Mouse. It was the things that are in the public domain that are being put in, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, that kind of stuff. And I'm just watching all these. I'm just watching this guy talk about all the insane, poorly made horror movies, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. People getting their heads ripped off and all kind of violent deaths, and I go to sleep, right? And then, Venom, the Venom symbiote from Marvel. I find that thing in the dream, of course. I find that, and I bond with it. I'm like, oh, I got the Venom symbiote. I'm Venom now. And then I use the Venom stuff, and I walk into a restaurant, okay? And then I basically like, you know how Venom can like shapeshift and stuff. He can rip off. No, like he can change the way he looks. So I turn my arm into a huge sharp sword. This really long sharp sword thing. And in one swipe, I just go wee all across the entire restaurant. And it just chops off everyone's heads at the same time, and all the heads start rolling across the floor, and there's blood everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Venom, yes, I'm violent and I kill people. And because Venom, he also eats brains, right? Because that's like his main source of vitamins. So I start walking around the whole place, pick up a head. I'm like, ooh, this guy was hideous, and then I eat it, and I'm just crunching on that skull material, just chewing up all the gray matter, and I'm like, delicious. And then I go to the next skull at the next table. And this restaurant, by the way, it had to be like what? It was like what, really big, like maybe the size of your average McDonald's, maybe slightly bigger than that. It was huge, and it was packed. Like it had to be rush hour or something, but it was nice. So I don't know why. Everyone just wanted to go to dinner. Everyone just wanted to eat dinner all at the same time. So it was like a really packed restaurant. And because of that, uh, it was yeah, it was a huge death count there. I have to break all this gravel. It's gonna make a lot of sound. Okay. Immediately after that dream, it moves into the next dream, and thankfully this dream's a little more tame, but it's still a little weird. I was at Hogwarts, right? But it wasn't like Harry Potter. How what is? It's actually just like the movie set. I was on the movie set for the Harry Potter movies. I don't know. I haven't read Harry Potter or watched a Harry Potter movie in a long time, right? I'm not really that much of a fan of the series, but for some reason I was really hype to be on set for the Harry Potter movie. And I know what that's like to be on set for the Harry Potter movie because I went to the Warner Bros. Studio place, the museum where they store all the props and sets, right? So I've seen what it is like. So I guess that's pretty much why I got the idea of it cemented in my mind. But I was there, right? And they were filming an entire reboot of Harry Potter. And I'm like, why do we need a Harry Potter reboot? And you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy it because I've got the actors were amazing and the crew set was great. Everyone was so nice and they had like I was looking at them doing the shots, and the dialogue was really good. And I was like, man, I want to watch this movie when it comes out. I'd love to watch this movie. When is it releasing? Probably in like a year and a half because they're still shooting it. But that was a bit more relaxing. Now, back to insanely weird, violent fever dreams, which is I'm going to be talking about this other one I had, where I think it was, yeah, I was in a boat, okay, and I do not like fish. I don't like how fish taste, and I don't like I don't like how the smell of seafood. I'm actually allergic to a lot of seafood. So in this dream, right, I was in a boat and it was a huge boat, kind of like the Titanic or some kind of huge yacht. Then the boat starts sinking, so I go into a room, and I just cry in the corner. But now we've reached the bottom of the ocean, and this room that I'm in has not filled up with water. I'm like, huh, that's weird. Everything else is gone and sank, but I'm still nice, warm, and dry in here. Yeah, and then the windows start breaking, and oh, a lot of fish. A lot of fish just starts. There was so much fish everywhere. Fish were like pouring out through the windows, but they were staying latched onto the walls, and then fish started like seeping out of the walls. They just like it was like they were facing through the wall, and then they all started chanting this weird thing, right? And I can't remember what they were chanting, but when I woke up I was chanting that thing. Okay, this is making me sound like I'm a really messed up guy, okay? But I swear I'm normal. It's just these dreams, and these dreams usually happen when I'm sick, so it is completely normal to see weird stuff like this happen while you go to sleep, okay? But it was they're chanting something about I released a caveat, and I'm not sure if that's a real word. I don't know. Basically, I get I think the whole gist of it is that I released some terrible bad omen into the world, and the fish were tormenting me for that. And then I'm like, no, make the fish go away, make the fish go away. And then I started feeling a pain in my leg, and then I woke up and the pain was still there, right? My entire body was like flaring up in the dream, and I'm like, no, no, I don't like this at all. It was terrible. I think, nah, I'm very, I don't cry that often, but when I woke up from this dream, I definitely had probably a tear or so on my face because it was so painful. I could feel the pain. That's not the only time I felt pain, actually. I had this other weird dream, which it was. I'll go over quick because it's not that important. And it was really long ago. I can't remember it that well, but the whole gist of it was that there was some kind of robot AI, and this was before ChatGPT was a big thing, by the way. So I predicted the future. There was this new robot AI that university students were working on, and it got set loose and tried taking over the world, and a lot of people trusted it. So it wasn't really that difficult for it to gain your trust. And I was like, nah, I don't trust this thing. So then it went into my house and started electrocuting me, and I could feel the pain. And when I woke up, usually when you feel pain in dreams, I guess, when I feel pain in dreams, it's probably because I slept on that body part the wrong way. Like, I was feeling the pain in my arm. When I woke up, my arm was like behind my back and I was laying on my back. But now, oh yes, back to cannibalism. Okay. And now, weirdly enough, this dream also has something to do with fish. I don't know why. Fish is just something that triggers me. Yeah, I was eating fish, right? And then I was like, fish. I love fish. And I just keep eating the fish. And then when I'm eating the fish cooked, right? But then I moved to my right side and there was just a pile of raw fish. And I just started eating the raw fish. And I started spitting the bones out. But then at one point I was like, nah, I'm just gonna start eating the bones too. And I start eating all the bones, and it's crunching in my teeth. And I think I might have like cut some of the insides of my mouth. Okay, it's getting dark now, and we're almost finished with this. I start eating the fish. I'm like, nah, I don't need fish. I need something better. So then I go into a room in my house, because this dream takes place in my house. Okay, and I open it, and it's just full of wildlife forest critters, all the little animals like deers, bears, raccoons, squirrels, moose, basically Canada in one room. I grab the first animal. I just start eating the animals too. This guy walks into the room, and then he says, "Yeah, you all right? You all right there, Chief? Everything good?" And my eyes start glowing red, and I turn around, and I'm like, never better. And then I do the act of cannibalism, and I eat the whole guy. Now, the dream ended right as I was turning around, and I could pretty much extrapolate what was gonna happen next. Now we're gonna get into the weirdest dream of them all. The weirdest one. The one that has absolutely no bearing, and probably is enough to prove that I need to take an admission into the mental hospital. Because this dream just gets so out there. Alright? I call it the Homelander Mario Kart dream. And what happens in it is that I am Homelander. And I'm flying around. I'm like, and then I land into the room where they keep all the. This might be this might be a bit hard to understand if you haven't watched The Boys, but I walk into the room. This is the room where they keep the kids at VOT, and they're gonna, I don't know, inject them with Compound V or something. And the kids are playing Mario Kart on the Xbox 360. I know, but they're playing Mario Kart. I'm like, these guys suck at Mario Kart. I can play better than that. So I push one out of the way. I'm like, that was me brushing my shoulders. Okay? I say, out of the way, kids. I got this. I can play Mario Kart. So I'm playing Mario Kart, right? And now I'm Mario. And then I'm playing the Mario Kart, and I crash the cart into a supermarket. And now I'm in the supermarket, right? And I'm all hurt and stuff. And that's when I find Abraham Lincoln. And Abraham Lincoln says to me that I don't know how to read, and that he needs to teach me how to read. So Abraham Lincoln pulls out a book from the shelf and starts teaching me how to read. And I'm like, wow. And then Abraham Lincoln suggests that I read Stephen King. And I'm like, okay, yeah, thank you, Mr. Lincoln. And then John Wilkes Booth, wearing a ski mask and all black, comes in. He robs the store, robs the cashier, shoots Lincoln in the head, and then runs away. And I start crying, and I'm like, no, Mr. Lincoln, how could he do this to you? And then Mr. Abraham Lincoln, get this, okay? You've probably already been like, okay, this guy's out of his mind. There's nothing weird that can happen that's weirder than this. Abraham Lincoln, as I cradle his dying body in my arms, he tells me that with great power comes great responsibility. I did not pull this out of my, I did not make this up. This is legitimately what happened. This is what happened. I am not lying. This is exactly what happened in that dream. You want to know how? Because right after I woke up, I was like, that is so crazy. I'm going to write this one down. So I wrote the dream down, and I've read through it like I read through it before recording this video. Okay? And that is exactly what happened. To me recalling it. So maybe not every detail's in there, but that is pretty much what happened. Also, when he said his line, "Great power comes great responsibility," uh, the words "game over" flashed across my vision, and then I was Homelander again, and I was looking at the Xbox, and apparently I lost that Mario Kart game because the kid I was playing against was John Wilkes Booth, and that is a fever dream if I've ever heard of one. So maybe you can share your fever dreams down in the comments if you think you've seen crazier stuff than I have. Definitely share it with me. I would love to hear what crazy stuff just goes on in the subconscious or wherever dreams are made. So that is it. I'll see you.